box idea for an animation, and the first idea I had was the paintball gadget. I was thinking about how to make the paintball gadget into like a weapon. I was like, oh, I could easily animate that and just, have some clay cubes appear when you shoot someone. That'd be kind of cool. I wonder what other gadgets I can do. Oh, I can easily build the pool gadget and make someone build the pool. So instantly I started thinking of all these different gadgets, and it turned into an animation less about, mystery vaults and delivery man, and more into showing off these gadgets in the lobby. And it's like, oh, that'll be fun. Let me make a quick animation about some characters fighting each other using gadgets. Maybe they're all fighting a common enemy. It turned out, of course, the animation got longer and longer, and it became a very long animation, about 10 minutes, with the ending and everything, without the credits. And that was a lot longer than I'd wanted it to be. It took me about 2 months to finish this, although I was working on other things at the same time, kind of especially during the beginning. I was working on the Black Magic Gaming server, but still the animation was very long. And the main reason for that was, my other goal with this animation was I wanted to do an animation that really fit in a lot of the patrons again. When I did Blocking Dead, I worked in a lot of people who've been supporting us, the Diamond Plus patrons, and they really seemed to enjoy their little scenes. They put, their profile pictures to their little moments, and I was like, oh, this is something that people are enjoying. Why don't I make an animation where I can fit a lot more patrons in them? I'll have them all in the lobby just shooting around. It'll be fun, it'll be quick. But alas, I tried to give every character a scene, and that turned it into some huge 10-minute thing. Anyway, so I will start getting into now the behind the scenes. We'll start looking at the stuff, and we'll see how it kind of was made, now that I've kind of explained, how it came to being. So, like Blocking Dead, I didn't want to... What I found with Blocking Dead was people didn't need to just start right with a bunch of the action and stuff like I thought with Mega. So here I have something kind of similar to Blocking Dead, where it, it just starts with just, an opening scene, setting up, people are hanging out in the lobby. And this was also the animation where I decided to go ahead with my idea for putting names above characters' heads. If you look as I fly around, the names actually, follow the camera, which was some technology I was thinking, oh, I can easily put that together, kind of like Minecraft. And it'll make it, for this animation, it made a lot of sense, because it's supposed to really feel like a lobby, like they're just kind of hanging out in the lobby, having a blast. It wouldn't really make sense for things like Walking Dead, because it's supposed to feel like, an actual zombie invasion. But here I thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of test that. And then it was also nice because it really, really helped, show the patrons with their names and everything to really, give them support back for having supported us. Hopefully this will have encouraged more people to maybe consider pledging. If you can't, don't worry about it. There's always other ways to get into our animations. You don't just have to pay. We do have giveaways and stuff. So the story began as something with, my character's supposed to go up, he wants to open up the mystery box, and the idea was, it's about to open and it's broken. It starts, starts shaking, and then it falls down below. And the idea I had, I don't know how clear it was, the idea is that because Entity 303 is down in there in the vault stealing stuff, it's kind of making them not work. They're not really, activating because he's kind of broken it or something down there. So then he goes in and explores the mystery vault, which is something I've always kind of been curious about in the lobbies. You can actually look down and see this cool looking end, dimension down there. So I always thought it'd be cool to actually have the characters go in there at the beginning. So here we have the interior, and I wanted to just have this kind of feeling. I don't know if people have ever seen either Big Hero 6 or Wreck-It Ralph. I kind of took inspiration from both of those. In Big Hero 6 at the end, they go into this kind of portal-y dimension where the background's all like fractally, which is where I got the kind of inspiration to do the... Let me see if this will actually show. I can show that. I kind of got this kind of strange, fractally weird feeling around the background. And also in Wreck-It Ralph, there's a scene where they kind of went into like the code, and there's just things kind of floating everywhere. So I kind of combined those two ideas into creating what became the mystery vault. And the inside, there's just, all the little mystery chests, or what do you call mystery boxes, floating around that people can later open. So he's in there, and then this is kind of supposed to be like the portal, like where you came in, you kind of came through that hole. I don't know how it exactly makes sense, but it was kind of cool. It's cool visuals to see this cool place. And here we finally get the reveal. Someone is indeed in here. And again, not too sure how clear it was. The idea was he's taking these, things out of chests. He's just going around opening up random chests, trying to get all of the gadgets. That way he can come out and use the gadgets to fight people in the lobby. So he's supposed to have all the gadgets. A little bit of technical stuff on how I made these fractals. I believe I simply just used one of the built-in fractal types. If I go to the world, there is a noise texture. I simply just used that. I believe I even animated... Oh, no, here it is. It was the magic texture. And I just animated the distortion amount. And as you see, if you put more distortion, you get more of that kind of lines. And as you get less, you get more kind of big blobs. And I kind of animated it between like 2 and 3 or 4. That way you kind of slowly get this kind of moving feel to it. I probably could have scaled some other things. But it's just kind of fun to play with. You get some really cool looking stuff in the sky. So then for the breach scene, this was one that took a lot of time, especially even with the sound design and physics and stuff. It's a very complex thing. A lot is going on that you can't even quite see. But I basically rebuilt the vault. The vault doesn't actually exist here in the beginning. If I take this layer off, I basically went around the world in Blender and just deleted all the faces of the vault, then rebuilt it using individual little blocks. I put physics on them all, and I believe I turned off gravity. Gravity turns on right around here, so you'll see everything. I think right when I turned on gravity, I did something with like, oh, there's this little collider that moves up, and it kind of comes up. Oh yeah, it starts poking things from below. Oh, so actually gravity doesn't even turn on yet. There's no gravity. This thing comes up, starts pushing everything. That's why you start seeing everything kind of like raise up. And I think right around here, gravity, I turned on gravity, and also threw up some other little thing that, you know, pushed the little outer sides. And yeah, right around here, yeah, you see how gravity, at first there's no gravity, it just knocks them up and they just keep floating up, floating up. Right here, I turn on gravity, you can see these stop and start falling back down. Then I get this kind of outer ring of destruction. I also put in ender particles to make it feel like, you know, the ender energy stuff is like bursting out. And then, you know, everything kind of sucks back in. I put a little field that kind of, just for a moment, you see everything kind of flying out, then everything kind of stops and pulls inward. Then it gets like the upwards boost. A lot of camera shake. I love doing these kind of crazy visual effects scenes and explosions and stuff. There's a few pieces in here where I try to create some larger chunks. That way it wasn't all just like little blocks that evenly blew up with some big pieces mixed in. Get some more dynamics. There's a lot of different elements. There's even some very small particles that are kind of like, where are they? It's kind of hard to see. There's little tiny stone blocks that kind of make these little gritty chunks. I wanted to do smoke, but the smoke didn't really work. The smoke in Blender runs very slow. And then you can see actually little details like when this blows up. This character down here who was sitting here on the railing, he even kind of tips over and falls backwards as everything blows up. I'm doubting it's not obviously that well animated because he's really far away. You see him watching it, he kind of like, whoa, falls off due to the explosion. You can kind of see it in the scene if you look close. You see him like, whoa, falls off. Also, right before it blows up, this guy's sitting here, you know, checking his map, and then right when he hears like the boom, he kind of like, whoa, whoa, and then he runs off, trying to just sell the, you know, the idea of this thing blowing up. There's even a guy here like looking out over it, watching it.